YouTube, welcome to another episode of the Purple and Black. I'm here for my follow-up video regarding the 2019 NFL Draft for my Ravens. Sorry it's a little late. I know the draft was a couple days ago. It ended, and my video is just now getting up. I've been busy closing the month out at work. Excuses, I know, but life goes on, right? Anyway, Eric DeCosta's first draft for us. You know, he's stepping down. Ozzie Newsome stepped down last year. He was still in the room. You could tell he still had his hands on some picks here. For instance, the Jalen Ferguson pick, that seemed like an Ozzie Newsome pick in the third round. But I want to give kudos to Eric DeCosta for having the balls to go out and grab some speed for our offense and build a team around Lamar, because that's really what we needed to do this year. And it seems like that's what they're doing. With their first pick, they've actually moved back a couple spots, picked up a fourth-round pick, which we'll get to in a little while. And they took really the best receiver in the draft. They took Hollywood Brown, Antonio Brown's cousin. He can run every single route on the route tree. The knockback against him is that he's small body receiver, 167 pounds, something like that. Antonio Brown's a small receiver too, but it hasn't stopped him from being the number one wide receiver in football for the past 5 seasons in a row. So, with that being said, I love the pick. We need speed. We need somebody who can run some good routes and get open. He can do that. He can do that probably better than any other receiver in this draft. I think he's really going to help out Lamar. And what I love, and I don't remember who said it when they drafted him. I want to say it was Todd McShay or Daniel Jeremiah, but they were saying that the Hollywood Brown cricket. No, it was Steve Smith said it. Steve Smith said it that he liked the pick because Hollywood Brown's a young player. He's also from Broward County, Florida, same place as Lamar. So they already have some, familiarity there, and it gives them an opportunity to grow together, long term. I think that's only going to make our locker room better. I'm really seeing what Eric DeCosta is doing with the locker room, and with, for instance, in the fourth round they took that Oklahoma guard Powers. He's Orlando Brown's best friend. He's going to be playing right next to Orlando Brown. They already know how each other play, and they've already played with running quarterbacks, They have experience with Heisman Trophy winner running quarterbacks in Mayfield and Kyler Murray. So I think that's going to be a smooth transaction too, but I'm getting sidetracked. Let me get back to the first round pick. Great pick, Oklahoma. I love the pick. I wanted DK Metcalf, as you've seen in my previous video, but you see how far he dropped, and he probably dropped because of his neck injury and because he did such a poor job at the three-cone drill at the combine, which I thought he improved on his pro day, but regardless, it's neither here nor there. We didn't draft him, so it's irrelevant to us. But he, that's why he dropped, I think, is because his limited production in college. He was injury prone. He didn't do good in the three-cone drills. They don't think he can get in and out of his breaks. Meanwhile, Hollywood Brown, he can get in and out of his breaks very, very good, and he's extremely fast. If you watch his highlight film over the last 2 years, it's ridiculous. It's got to be 50 touchdowns. It's not 50 touchdowns, but it's a lot of touchdowns. I want to say he had, I don't know, 14 touchdowns a season roughly, maybe a little bit less. Anyway, our second round pick, we didn't have a second round pick because we traded it for Lamar last year, which was a great pick. But there was a lot of good players in the second round this year that were falling that I wish we had a second round pick for, and I thought we might trade up, but I'm glad we didn't, because the second round pick I wanted us to draft, we drafted in the third round. I actually wanted us to draft Jalen Ferguson. I've been talking all year long about him being our first round pick. Getting closer to the draft, I was seeing that he was starting to drop to possibly late first round, mid-second was probably the range he was going to go. I don't know how the hell it happened, but he dropped to us in the third round, and we took him like 85 overall. This guy's a top 35 player in my opinion. I think he was the best defensive end in the draft. I've been watching his film all year long. I've been talking about this guy all year long. He broke Terrell Suggs' NCAA sack record. Who's a better player to replace Terrell Suggs than the guy that broke his record? He's built the same. I think he's 6'5", 260 something, real similar build to Terrell Suggs. Not the fastest player on the planet, but man, does he got a lot of pass rush skills. He's got every move in the book. He's a strong, powerful bull rusher, and he can set an edge. Guys, this is your starter. This is your starting defensive end this year. He wins the job in camp. I'm just going to go out and say it there. No disrespect to Tyus Bowser or Tim Williams. I like you guys. I think you guys can, blossom into some good pass rushers for us. But Ferguson's the guy. He is the guy that's taking over that role, and that's my favorite pick of the draft, Jalen Ferguson. You watch his production over the next couple of years. I'm buying his jersey this year. It's coming. Later on in the third round, we took Miles Boykin, who I love. I think it's it's kind of a gamble, dice roll, but he's a tall, fast receiver that can work the entire field, has a good route tree. Sometimes coming in and out of his breaks, he's a little sloppy, but that can be worked on. That's coachable stuff, man. The kid's got hands and he's got speed. That's the stuff that's not that coachable. So I'm glad to see that they went with a receiver that has hands, that has speed, that has height, kind of a different speedy receiver than the first one they took. They took two opposite ends, one tall, fast one short, fast one. So I like it. Lamar needs all the help he can get in the wide receiver room. I do think Chris Moore is going to make a play for a starting position this year. Because I think that kid can ball. Moving on, we go to the fifth round. Who did we take in the fifth round? The fourth round. We took Justice Hill, which I know my boy Ingraven loved this pick. I love this pick too because he's the fastest running back in the entire draft, and this kid can ball too. He's going to flat out just burn people in our offense because they're going to be so worried about the run pass option. You got two bruisers in Gus Edwards and Mark Ingram now, and our Mark Ingram can catch the ball. And now you got another running back who runs a 4.4 that can burn anybody on the field, and he can run up the middle too. But he catches the ball well at the back. I mean, you're talking about a well-rounded offense now. Two good quality tight ends. You got a first-round pick last year, Hayden Hurst. He got hurt. But now he's going to be healthy this year. I think he's going to have some big production. Mark Andrews was a steal last year from Oklahoma. Again, getting back to that locker room commodity, the reason I wanted to mention that. The other fourth-round pick was Oklahoma guard Ben Powers. Now, last year we took Orlando Brown and we took Mark Andrews, who were both teammates, great friends. This year we're adding another offensive lineman to it that actually played right next to Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown was at his draft party when he was drafted. How cool is that? The coaches actually was like, put Orlando to the front. We want to talk to him. And they talked to him there. I thought that was a great story. I love that. I love the fact that, they already know how each other plays. They're going to have each other's back. All them road trips and a season's a long time. You need a friend to help you get through some tough times sometimes. So it's only going to make us stronger in the long run. The mental thing is what makes the Ravens. They're tough. They've always been tough, and that's because they have a good locker room. The later round picks, I know we had. We think after the guard, we took that quarterback. Drawing a blank on his name right now, but he was a pretty good player. He could actually come in and run the offense if Lamar or RG3 couldn't do it. He's the same type of player. He ran, funny, I can't remember his name, but I can tell you he ran a 4.57 at the combine because I'm obsessed with the combine, but good player. From what I hear, he was a steal from where we took him, and I don't know that we needed a quarterback, but I'm assuming we're going to start using him the same way we used Lamar last year when Flacco was in. Coming around, maybe two quarterbacks on the field. They probably don't want to hurt RG3 and do that and put him in a bad situation because they need him for the backup role in case that were to happen. So that's my guess there. All in all, I might be missing a pick here late, but probably going to be a special teams player. But they actually signed a bunch of undrafted free agents. Some notable ones I wanted to mention were defensive tackle from Miami, Willis. This kid can play, and actually that's the other draft pick I missed. It was Dayton Some, defensive tackle. He had a really, really good Senior Bowl, and there's some film I've seen him of blowing up like Garrett Bradbury, the number one center taken in the draft. So yeah, we got this guy late in the draft. I think we took him in the 5th round, but this is a guy just like Willie Henry that can just plug and play, defensive tackle, big boy inside. I mean, think about it. Michael Pierce was an undrafted rookie walk-on free agent. Same type of deal with these guys. These guys are the same type of mold, man. This is, was it Dayton and Willis that's coming in from Miami as an undrafted rookie free agent. Great job on that, and, recruiting that guy because I live in Florida, and I can tell you right now I know his name. My buddy's a receiver who went to local school, and he's friends with the guy. The guy can play. I've seen his tape. Moving on from that, another receiver that we decided on the undrafted rookie free agents was what was his name? I think it's Jalen Smith. He was the receiver for Lamar in Louisville when Lamar was at Louisville. So 13 of his 15 touchdown passes came from Lamar Jackson. And you know what's funny? I actually went back and watched some more tape on Lamar in college. Boy can throw. What are we talking about? Let's put an offensive line in front of him. Let's put some speedy receivers around him. I see what you're doing, Eric. I'm following you, man. I see it. I see it now. And it's all young players, man. We dominated this draft. I don't even care about free agency. I forgot how good we are at the draft. I mean, they've almost filled every hole, and we're probably going to sign another, free agent or two after they don't count against the comp pick formula, because we love our comp picks. But all in all, I gotta say, I mean, I'm going to give their draft an A. I was going to say A-, but when you think about the second round pick not being there, that's why I was going to give them an A-, because they still got that second round player I wanted in the third, and Jalen Ferguson, or I wanted in the second, Jalen Ferguson. They had Lamar with that second round pick. That's how you have to look at it. That was Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, A+ really. And I know there's a lot of people outside of, M&T Bank that don't think Lamar can play, but I can tell you right now, every person inside that bank knows that kid's got heart, can play, and he's a leader. You just got to hope he wears his seatbelt, baby. That's it. But that's it. This is the second episode of the Purple and Black, and I hope you guys subscribe like a Raven below, and give me a like if you like the video, and put some comments. I always try to respond back. You can catch me on Twitter at Phil Digital. I'll put all the links below. I'm not too good at this YouTube stuff now. I'm still getting used to it. But the insight is good. I know my Ravens. I know draft prospects, and I know football. So you're looking for good news and a good grade on our draft. If you want to know who I'm going to have a follow-up video with free agents who I think could make a good fit to plug in our remaining holes that are not going to count against our comp pick formula video. Haven't decided what I'm going to call it yet. It's not going to be that long, but it's going to be something similar. But subscribe like a Raven and give me a like, and hopefully I'll see you guys again for episode 3 of the Purple and Black. Peace.